What is up, all of my horror fanatics out there? Welcome back to Late Night Frights. I'm Late Night Frights horror leader, the J. Sloan or Jordan, back here to do another video for you. And as always, guys, I want to thank everyone for tuning in this evening. Last week we did a theme, and if you haven't checked it out yet, please go do so. It was a great week overall. We did our top 10 favorite zombie films of all time. Each member here on Late Night Frights gave a great top 10 list of their own personal favorite zombie films. So this week we are doing horror battles, and the two films that I chose to battle are two backwoods top slasher horror films. They're both really fun, really enjoyable, and the first one here is Tourist Trap versus Wolf Creek. Okay, so you guys know how we do things here on Late Night Frights. First, I'll be reviewing both films very briefly, and then I will battle them to the death. So I'm going to start off by reviewing The Tourist Trap, which was made in 1979. This one is starring Tanya Roberts from Charlie's Angels. It also has Chuck Connors, who plays Slauson in this film. So this one starts out as kind of like your average slasher, and then it moves into other really weird things. Actually, the beginning scene is pretty weird how everything plays out. I won't spoil it. But it's your average slasher. This group of young adults, I guess you could say teens or young adults, end up at this eerie, deserted wax museum called Slauson's Lost Oasis. And when they get there, they start noticing weird things are going on, and each of them get picked off one by one. They are confronted by a very friendly man who is Chuck Connors, Slauson, and they're confronted by him. He seems really nice, and things start to happen as the film progresses, and all these secrets start to be told, and we all find out everything in the film. That's pretty much all I'll say about the story. It got a little iffy here and there. Some things were a little off about how certain characters were doing what they were doing. I won't spoil it, but if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Overall, it was good. Really liked the acting. I thought the directing was good. I liked some of the shots. Like I said, it was 1979. I thought the effects were awesome. I love the wax museum and all of these, wax statues and, wax. This wax museum has all these wax statues in it of all these famous people, and they start to notice things like their eyes moving, and it's like House of Wax in a way, but very, very different. And I am talking about the remake of House of Wax, which is terrible. This one I actually really loved. The remake of House of Wax was terrible, but this reminds me a lot of like the wax and everything and all the fake people. And that's weird things start to happen. That's all I'm going to say. And the phone is ringing once again, like it loves to do in every one of my videos. But yeah, all I'm going to say about the story, very, very interesting. I really enjoyed it. Like the lead characters, they weren't very. One of them was really likable. I really liked one of the characters, and the rest of them were kind of, I didn't care if they got killed off or not. And really liked Chuck Connors as Slauson, or however you say his name. So yeah, that is my review of The Tourist Trap. Really, really good film. So now I'm going to move on and review Wolf. Okay, now I'm going to review Wolf Creek, which I believe was made in 2004. This one is about three hikers who drive across Australia trying to find a place called Wolf Creek. And, it's about their journey getting there, and once they get there, they get stuck. Their car will not start. Everything seems to be going wrong until they run into a trusty, older, friendly man, much like Tourist Trap. And this guy's name is Mick. He's very comedic, very funny, and things start to happen with him, and they start to find out that he's not a fan of tourists, and he's not a fan of them, and he has been sabotaging their vehicle, and he is the reason why they have not been able to leave. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about it. I won't go any further into the story. I will say this one is inspired by Australia's backpack killer, apparently here it says on the back, who murdered 7 backpackers in the 90s. So it's based off true events. How deep is it? I'm not exactly sure how true the events are that they are putting into the film. Some of it is probably loosely based. But I really, really enjoy Wolf Creek. It's very dirty, very gritty. Reminds me a lot of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in many ways. And whereas Tourist Trap reminded me a little bit of Psycho and a film called Deranged, which is another really good horror film if you haven't seen it. But Wolf Creek reminded me a lot of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and its dirty grittiness and the type of comedy. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre really didn't have too much comedy. Then you go to TCM2, which is loaded with comedy. Mick is a antagonist who, it's a guy that you love to hate. It's a guy that wants to kill you, but at the same time you can see that he will be a cool guy to talk to. He's funny as hell, but he's just this demonic guy. But really, really cool. Love the acting. John Jarrett plays Mick. There is a sequel, Wolf Creek 2, which wasn't too great. It was alright. But the original Wolf Creek is the way to go. I really enjoy this one. I always have. Yeah, Mick's great. John Jarrett does an amazing job. The supporting cast, pretty good. The lead actress. I like how it kind of switches back and forth. Usually in horror films, you tend to have that one actress or actor who is the lead, and that's the person who is going to survive past the film or to the end of the film at least. This one really switches that up in a way that a lot of films didn't and still don't at this time. So I really enjoy Wolf Creek. Great effects, great blood, guts, and gore, great story, and great acting and directing. So now that I have reviewed both films, it is time to battle them to the death. Okay, round one, acting and directing. Which film do I think had better acting and better directing overall? Really like the acting in Tourist Trap from Chuck Connors and from Tanya Roberts. I really like the acting, but every cast member really wasn't on par in this film. I felt some of them really weren't taking it too seriously. But it was a very interesting story, not really a scary story, but a spooky story, and the way things went down, which I'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm going to say the acting was more believable in Wolf Creek, especially with Mick and the other actors who were portraying the victims. Did a really good job, so round one goes to Wolf Creek. Round two, blood, guts, and gore. Which film do I think had better blood, guts, and gore and effects? The effects with the Wax Museum was badass in Tourist Trap, so I'm going to have to give it to Tourist Trap for round two. The effects, all the blood and all the dirty grittiness in Wolf Creek was really, really badass, but I figured Tourist Trap deserved a round because of the wax type effects and the masks and the blood and all that, and some of the kills that happened. So I figured that I would give round two to Tourist Trap, but it was very close because everything in Wolf Creek, all of the blood, guts, and gore was badass too. But Tourist Trap takes round two. Round three, story and originality. Which film do I think had a better story and was overall more original? This film was made in 1979. This one was made in 2004. This was based off an original concept. This was based off real-life events. I'm going to give round three to Tourist Trap because it was very inventive. I mean, it stuck to a lot of the same typical slasher points and everything that we see, but it had a really different, spooky kind of atmosphere to it that I really liked. And using the traps and using the wax sculptures and all that was just really, really cool. So I'm giving round three to Tourist Trap. Round four, personal enjoyment and replayability. Which film do I personally enjoy more, and which film would I pop in right now and watch? And I'm going to give this round to Wolf Creek because I really, really love this movie. Really enjoy the dirty, gritty vibe. Thought the actors were on par. They were really good with what they were doing. Loved the character of Mick. And, yeah, I'm going to have to give round four to Wolf Creek because I personally enjoy this film just a little bit more than Tourist Trap. So right now we're 2-2. I'm going to tell you which one I personally enjoy more without doing another round, which I've already just told you. But which one wins my battle, and that is Wolf Creek, just by a hair. I really enjoy Tourist Trap. The acting was a bit cheesy, which took me out of it, some of the people that was in it. The story was really cool. Loved the lead character, loved the antagonist, loved everything about it, but some of the cheesy acting. And it was 1979. It was, leading into the early 80s, which in my opinion is the best time in horror films. But just sadly, it did not win this battle. It was so close because I really did enjoy this film. I would say it is a really good horror flick and definitely to check it out, but it's just not better to me than Wolf Creek. Okay, so Wolf Creek wins this battle. Love everything about it. Acting, directing, characters, story, everything. So definitely check out Wolf Creek if you haven't already. Wolf Creek has defeated Tourist Trap. It has came out on top, but please comment down below and tell me which film would win in your battle. Which film do you personally like more? So I want to thank everyone once again for tuning in and checking out my battle over Tourist Trap, which is a great horror film, and Wolf Creek, which is another great horror film. Check out both of these backwoods slashers if you get a chance. You won't be you will definitely be missing out if you don't. They're great horror films. Might not be everyone's cup of tea. One or the other you might not like. But please comment down below, and if you have seen them, tell me which one you prefer. Stay tuned, guys. Tomorrow, Chris Brock will be battling 2 horror films of his choice and reviewing them as well. And that will continue throughout the week with all of our members. I'm the Jay Sloan. You just watched Late Night Frights. Comment, subscribe, and as always, guys, keep it horror. Peace.